How to Fight Negative Thoughts and Win. It was a rainy Wednesday morning in London when James Turner sat in his small flat, staring blankly at the flickering cursor on his laptop. His coffee had gone cold. The pile of job rejection emails blinked at him like neon signs of failure. The weight on his shoulders was more than just the pressure of unemployment. The voice in his head that whispered, "You're not good enough. You never were." James hadn't always been like this. Just 2 years ago, he was the guy who lit up rooms. With a degree in journalism and an internship at a major publication under his belt, he believed the world was his oyster. But the industry shrank, budgets were cut, promises faded. Slowly, James' confidence grew. What started as a few setbacks turned into full-blown self-doubt. He stopped reaching out to friends. He'd scroll through social media, seeing others thrive while his life felt like it was on pause. Negative thoughts became his constant companion. Every "maybe tomorrow" became "why bother?" Then, one Friday evening, something shifted. James was walking through Hyde Park, trying to clear his head, when he bumped into someone literally. "Oh, I'm so sorry," he said quickly, steadying the woman he had almost knocked over. "No worries," she replied, smiling. "You look like you've got a storm cloud over your head bigger than that one." She pointed to the gray sky above. He chuckled. "Yeah, it's been a rough year." "Name's Sophie," she said, offering a hand. "You?" "James." She looked him in the eye, curious. "Wanna get a coffee and talk about it? Not every day I meet a stranger who looks like he's fighting a war with his own mind." And just like that, James found himself sitting in a quiet corner cafe with someone who would change everything. Over the following weeks, Sophie became a friend, a lifeline. She was a therapist, which explained her calm aura and piercing insight. But she never forced help on him. Instead, she listened. She let him vent, rage, cry. And then she offered him something simple. "James," she said one afternoon, "you can't win a battle if you don't know who or what you're fighting. Those negative thoughts, they aren't you. They're patterns, habits, and they lie." He frowned. "It feels like they're me, my voice." "That's how they win," she said gently. "They disguise themselves as truth, but they're distortions. You need to start identifying them, name them, and then challenge them." She taught him about cognitive distortions, mental filters that twisted reality. These included catastrophizing, black and white thinking, and overgeneralization. Once he started noticing these patterns, he saw them everywhere, like when he received another job rejection and immediately thought, "I'll never be hired again." Sophie made him reframe the situation. One rejection doesn't define all future outcomes. Bit by bit, he began fighting back. Sophie encouraged structure. "Your mind is chaotic. Routine can bring stability." So James started small. He woke up at the same time daily, made his bed, and went for a 20-minute walk. Journaling came next, 1 page a day. He'd write down his thoughts, even the dark ones, and challenge them like Sophie taught him. He even stuck affirmations on his bathroom mirror. "You are not your thoughts. Progress over perfection. One step is still forward." In the beginning, he felt ridiculous, but slowly, these tiny routines became anchors. he noticed his energy lifting. He had fewer spiral days, more stable ones. Even his dreams felt less heavy. James applied for a freelance writing gig at a local magazine. He spent hours crafting a pitch, poured his heart into it, and got rejected. The old James would have spiraled for days. But this time, he called Sophie. "They didn't like it," he said flatly. "What does that mean?" "That my idea wasn't good enough. Or maybe," she said, "it just wasn't the right fit for them. One magazine's rejection doesn't mean your story doesn't matter. Try again." He did. He sent the pitch to 3 other outlets. One replied a week later. They loved it. That tiny victory lit something in him. He started seeing rejection not as a wall, but as a detour sign. It's not a stop, just a new direction. As James grew stronger, he realized how isolating his journey had been. So, he joined an online group for people battling anxiety and depression. He was hesitant at first, sharing with strangers, felt vulnerable. But he quickly learned that vulnerability was the birthplace of connection. In that group, he saw people at every stage of the battle. Some were just beginning. Others had years of growth behind them. But all were trying. He shared his story, his fears, his small wins. People thanked him. "I thought I was the only one who thought like this," someone messaged. James smiled. "You're never the only one," he thought. Sophie once asked James to write down his internal narrative. "What do you mean?" he asked. "What's the story you tell yourself about who you are?" He hesitated, then scribbled down, "I'm someone who failed, who got lost, who wasn't strong enough to make it." Sophie nodded. "Now write the version from the eyes of someone who loves you." That took longer, but eventually he wrote, "You're someone who fell but got back up. You didn't give up. You kept trying, even when it hurt. You're learning, growing, healing." That version felt foreign, but also comforting. He started reading it daily. The more he read it, the more it felt true. Months passed. James landed a part-time job writing mental health content for a wellness blog. He poured everything he'd learned into his articles. His most popular piece? How to Fight Negative Thoughts and Win. He shared his story, the dark days, the turning points, Sophie's advice, the routines, the reframing, and the hope. Thousands read it. Hundreds commented. "This gave me hope. I needed this today. I thought I was broken. Now I realize I'm healing." James couldn't believe it. The voice that once whispered lies now shouted truth for others. On a bright Sunday morning, nearly a year after they first met, James and Sophie sat on the same bench in Hyde Park where their paths had crossed. "You've come a long way," she said. "I still have bad days," he admitted. "We all do. But now you know how to fight back." He nodded. "And win." She smiled. "You didn't just survive, James. You grew. You transformed." He looked out at the blooming flowers, feeling the warmth on his face. For the first time in years, he believed the voice that said, "You're going to be okay," because he was.